Capitalists are not necessarily evil people. Some of them are, some of them are not. Some of them really believe that what they're doing is helpful and what they're doing is good for humanity, and sometimes proclaim that very loudly from the rafters, like Bill Gates and the like. So they're not necessarily evil people, but they are locked into a system. And it is my study of that system over the last 30 or 40 years that has led me to my current conclusions about what the system is doing. Capitalists don't freely choose. They've built a system which, in a sense, is running them. And they have to behave in a way that actually obeys what Marx called the laws of motion of this system, the laws of motion of capital. And those laws of motion are hard to understand in detail, but there is a fairly simple way to look at it. And it is that the capitalist system is based on the idea that you start the day with a certain amount of money. You use that money to buy labor and means of production. You take that labor and means of production and you use a technology and you put it into the production of a new commodity. The new commodity is then sold for money, and that money has to be more money than you started out with. That is, it has to be a profit, or what Marx called surplus value. That money is then distributed in various ways to various groups. Some of it goes to labor, some of it goes to industrialists, some of it goes to merchants, some of it goes to interest and all the rest of it. But then at the end of the day, also, the capitalists are faced with what they're going to do with the extra money that they've got. Now, if they were normal people like you and I, they would go and spend it and have a good time. Unfortunately, as Marx pointed out, this is their Faustian dilemma, because that is indeed what they want to do, but they can't do that because they're actually forced to reinvest, because they're in competition. And Marx talks often about the coercive laws of competition, the coercive laws that force you to do certain things whether you like it or not. And so the capitalist is forced then to take part of that extra money and then put it to making even more money. So that the system is about perpetual accumulation. And it cannot exist and continue to exist without that perpetual accumulation.